So unfortunately, because I have butterfingers, I pressed off the camera and you guys can get to see me plant it. But mostly what I did was, because of that hard pan, I removed some of the soil from the actual root ball of the Buddleja instead, so I could fit it to the hole. Usually you don't want to do that, but because I'm kind of in a rush and I'm kind of cooking outside, I did it anyways. So I just removed the excess soil from the root ball, trying not to get rid of too many roots. The plant will be okay. Here it is. I'm going to step down on it, make sure that it's actually no air pockets underneath. Let's see. There we go. That should do it. That's going to look nice. It's going to have that nice pale blue, purple color. It cool down the area with all these reds and oranges. It's also going to attract a lot of wildlife. Like the name says, butterfly bushes attract butterflies. I haven't seen too many butterflies go to the ones I have in the backyard, but I have seen hummingbirds go to them, so that should count for something. So whenever you're done planting a plant, always make sure to water it. In terms of care and layer on, probably a shrub like this will probably need water almost every day for 2 weeks, just to make sure the roots are establishing, and then afterwards they could join the rest of the plants in the regular watering schedule, whatever that could be for you. In terms of maintenance, you could prune the plant pretty hard back. So like if this thing grew too big, I could actually cut it back almost to the base if I wanted to. If not, you could just cut back the flower buds. So here's a flower that has passed. You're just going to follow it right there where it meets the leaf, and you will cut it. I don't have cutters right now. And what that would do, it would cause buds on the side to actually start to grow, which will result in more flowers or more leaf growth. Again, this one is called Buddleja Davidii Puckster Blue. Proven Winners sells it. Proven Winners has about, I think, 14 or 16 different varieties right now of Buddleja on the market that are sterile, so you won't have to worry about them self-seeding. This one I bought from Lowe's, so if anyone's curious and they live in El Paso, look at your local Lowe's. They have them, and in fact they have them on discount right now. So go and get some. So let's move on to the next project. Next one we're going to be working on are these two, which are the Lantanas, but we're also going to have to be playing around with some pots that we did. These are the pots. Sorry for that ugly noise. We're going to move these pots over here so we can start working on them. So like I said at the beginning of this video, these pots receive a lot of residue heat, which will cook most plants. So you can see the plants in here are pretty much struggling for their lives. So let's start with this one. This one we're going to put the old gold. This plant right here is a Nepranthus. They're kind of like Dallasperma ice plant. I'm actually going to yank it up and we're going to move it to the side. There we go. And we have an aloe. I can't remember the name of this one. We had some Dahlias, but they got fried, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to have to reorder them from Annie's Annuals. It sucks, but you live and you learn. I reordered them and probably start them off in the fall, so they can have fall, winter, and spring to actually establish, and hopefully by then they could actually tolerate the heat. So we have this hole right here, and the plan with these is to fill it up again with some of the plants that died in here, like the Dahlias. Some of them are doing better than others, like this guy. Have a couple succulents like the Kawi Chloes, which aren't looking that great. I'm not expecting them to actually stay here for long. Aloes, other succulents, and probably some native perennials that can handle residue heat like the Lantanas. So we're going to yank this guy up. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, so I'm using my foot. Hashtag chanclas for life. So if you see this was on its way to becoming root bound. What you could do is play with the roots a little bit. Mess around with them. What that does is that it loosens the root memory. Because if you don't do this and your plant is more root bound than this is in that bat, the roots will keep on circling and circling, and the plant actually chokes itself out. Oh, especially on the bottom, you want to do that. Loosen it up. Lantana Camerii, Camera. I think I'm going to start spelling out the name since I cannot pronounce that to save my life. Is a native species. Super drought tolerant. You see it in the mediums all over the place. Again, it's great for attracting pollinators. It's actually part of the mint family, so it's related to salvias and similar plants. Okay, I'm gonna go get that native soil. The leaves, again, they're aromatic. In terms of water, this plant doesn't really have high water yeah, I guess water maintenance, water costs. It's a native, but with all plants, if it's the first time you're planting them, you're going to have to keep a close eye on them. Keep them well watered. These plants actually have a lot of sand in them. And spent you guys are just looking at the pot, sorry. And spent compost, which probably isn't the best. So I'm using some of this native soil, which, if you see, has some loamy bits and some clay. I believe it's clay. So hopefully that helps hold in moisture a little bit better. There we go. Let's turn this pot around. I want to make sure everything is well plain. These guys right here are your standard aloe veras. I do not want them there. I find somewhere else to put them. And the star of the show is this guy right here. This is Euphorbia xanthi. Euphorbia xanthi is native to North America. It's found in Baja California. And it's a plant that if you give it too much water, it's going to die. Which for beginners with plants, you would think, well, it's a plant, it needs water, it loves water. Well, there's actually a lot of true desert plants that if they get more than a couple inches of rain, they're gone. This guy has been pretty resilient in terms of that, which is kind of contrary to what the literature has been saying, but it's whatever. It's a euphorbia, so you want to be careful with it. If you damage the stems or pull a leaf, it's going to emit this white sap. That sap is an irritant. You don't want to leave it on your skin for too long. You don't want to eat it. You don't want it in your eyes. It's going to cause some problems. There's different species of euphorbia, and each one of them has their own severity of how bad that sap's going to be. Other than that, this is an easy to care plant. It grows about 6 feet tall. In the future, I'm probably going to cut all these lower limbs and make it look more like trees. In spring, it actually looks like a cherry tree. It has tiny little pink flowers, and it's really pretty, and it's really good for attracting predatory wasps and hoverflies. Which, if you want a balanced ecosystem, you gotta attract those wasps. Okay, I kind of messed up. I forgot. I have this to plant. So this one we're going to plant on the side. This is what they call spreading ice plant, or the Pranthus, I want to say it's Orientis, but I'm not too sure about that. I will include the real name if I did put it incorrectly in the description of this video. The Pranthus is a succulent. It's actually native to Africa, just like Dallaspermums. It has these really fleshy leaves. And I've noticed something weird. So I had some actual ice plants plants in the genus Dallaspermum in here. It was a red one, an orange one, and a yellow one. And the little finches would come and they ate them up. They ripped them apart. I guess they were trying to get the moisture that's inside the leaves. Who could blame them? It's been 108, 109, 110 temperatures. So who could blame them? But for whatever reason, they never went up to this one. So I'm curious if anyone out there knows if there's like a compound, a sugary compound, or something similar that's only found in Dallaspermums and not found in Lepranthus, and that's why they didn't eat it. It's just weird. So we got that one out of the way. This pot, we're going to be seeing a lot more of it as I keep on working on it. So hopefully by the end of the season, it's full of flowers and you guys were there to see the whole journey. Okay, so let's move on to the other pot. So again, in this pot, we have the Euphorbia xanthi, another type of aloe. We have a cactus. This one is actually from Monrovia, but was just sold as a hybrid. We used to have some Dudleyas, which I've sadly passed on to plant heaven. And we're going to put this... What's the other Lantana? Huh. Where did it go? Ah, it's back here. We're going to put this one off to the side right here, because I could move this cactus, but it's been moved a lot, which is why it looks really bad. And the other reason why I don't want to move it is because I'm not going to get my hand full of spike glockets. So let's dig out some soil. The soil in these pots is burning hot. That's what happens when you put black pots in full sun. Okay. Yeah, get this guy out. Look at how dry. This guy has not gotten a drop of water. And this one is a lot more root bound too. So we're actually going to break up the root a little bit more aggressively than we did with the other one. Okay. So there we go. There is our plant. Let's scoop up some of this soil. And there we go. I water this guy in and it should take off. The only thing left to do is clean up. So sorry for this video being a little bit jumpy all over the place, but this was kind of done on the quicks. Thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, and yeah, be ready to see more of these pots as I keep on working on them. Thank you. So hi and welcome everyone. Today we're going to be working on some stuff in the front yard. I'm going to be planting these 3 plants. We have a lantana, 2 lantanas. This one obviously it needs water because it looks like it's about to die. 2 lantanas and a buddleja. So let's talk about the buddleja first. This is a butterfly bush. It's from Proven Winners. All Proven Winners buddlejas are sterile, which is important because some states actually have buddlejas outlawed to grow in your yard because it has escaped cultivation. So a couple of companies came up with sterile hybrids, which means they will flower, but their seeds will never produce. Their flowers will never produce seed, and this turns out to be one of those. Along with this, Puckster Blue is actually dwarf-ish. It will only grow in like 3 to 4 feet. It makes a more rounded shape than weeping shape, like most buddlejas do, and the leaves are considerably larger. So I don't know what other species were in it when they were breeding it, but it's a pretty plant. And if you look down here, you can see all the new growth, all those little buds. So it's going to fill up pretty quick. So this guy we're going to be planting, and then these 2 are Lantanas. Both of them are Lantana Camurii. I believe this one is all gold, which is one of the more common cultivars. And this one I think is confetti, but I'm not too sure. They're not labeled. It just tells me the species name. This one needs water, like, desperately. The plan with these two is I'm going to put them in some pots, which you guys are going to see in a bit. Usually Lantanas grow into these big plants, but because they're in a pot, their growing habit, the amount of growing they're going to be able to do is going to be relatively limited. Also, where they're going to be at, the pots get a lot of residue heat from the house, and a lot of other plants I've tried in these pots have just cooked and baked and died. But I think these Lantanas will actually survive it, and they flower pretty much all year up until the frost hits us, and then you just cut them back, and the next year they come back up. They do smell if you touch the leaves and you rub them. It smells like lemony. Some people say it smells like cat piss, but I don't think so. The flowers are great at attracting pollinators. There's a group of bees that they call Antharcta. They fly around and they have a nickname called crack bee, because when they fly, most bees will fly up to a flower in a straight line. These guys instead zoom around. They look more like they act more like flies than the bee, but they're a bee, and they're about the same size as a honeybee, if not a little bit bigger. So let's get to work. So we're going to plant the Buddleja first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to make a mess. And the reason why I did that is because I want to have the pot to throw all the excess soil in. And I want to pick this up. Okay.